Had to happen sometime, viewers, and on day 12 we are going to look at probably one of the worst games we're going to look at. This game, a generous review of this game that I saw gave it a 5 out of 10. And that one was being nice. We're going to look at Ultima, Warriors of Destiny. Can't tell you much about it because there wasn't much put on the description for this one. All I can tell you is it was developed by Origin and published by FCI, and it was released in 1993. FCI, by the way, also helped Compile, who did our last game, Zanac, bring some games over to the States. Why they went from doing great things like that to this, I couldn't tell you. Also, keep in mind that this was released in 1993, near the end of the NES's lifespan. Now, I can't tell you much about it. There's a lot that goes on in Ultima games. They were very popular, enough to spawn like 3 NES games and I think 2 for the Game Boy, plus a whole line of PC games. Warriors of Destiny is actually the 5th in the series, but I'll be damned if I know why. Possibly because it's more of a tabletop style RPG, traditional kind of thing, and not so much a console RPG, and maybe that's why I don't get it. But, I tried really hard to show you things happening in this video. I want to make that clear right now. But as much as I tried, nothing would happen. I wandered around, nothing happened. So here's our plot. After having mastered the 8 virtues and attaining avatarhood and retrieving the Codex of Ultimate Wisdom in the previous game, the Avatar is summoned back to Britannia by his old comrades Iolo and Shamino. Shamino, oddly enough, is a company that makes fishing gear. Using a magic coin, which was included as a trinket in the games box. Well, how about that? This may be for the PC version, some of these things. Like I said, I could find hardly anything on the NES version. Lord British has been lost on an expedition into the underworld, and a tyrant known as Lord Blackthorn now rules Britannia in his stead. His name is Blackthorn. He's probably a nice man. 3 powerful beings known as the Shadow Lords have corrupted Blackthorn and terrorized the 8 cities of Britannia, just like today. Blackthorn enforces a strict, rigid version of the virtues, which leads to results that are anything but virtuous. For example, citizens are required to give to charity or else face execution. Over the course of the game, the Avatar learns that the Shadow Lords sprang from the 3 shards of Mondane's Gem of Immortality, destroyed at the conclusion of Ultima 1, and represent the antithesis for the 3 principles of the Avatar: falsehood, hatred, and cowardice. With the help of his old companions and some new ones, the Avatar forms the Warriors of Destiny in order to eliminate the Shadow Lords, undermine Blackthorn's rule, and rescue Lord British to return him to his throne. And the game deals with issues of fundamentalism and moral absolutionism. Now, you're watching the video. I'm going to tell you what it says here in the article. Warriors of Destiny featured much more polished writing. Earlier games were riddled with some spelling errors and uneven vocabulary, and considerably greater detail than the previous game. It was the first Ultima to implement a time-of-day system in which the sun rises and sets, and non-player characters follow daily routine schedules. This game has been lauded as realistically portraying a culture living under a dictatorial regime. Its tone is much darker than that of Ultima 4, Quest of the Avatar. Now, I'm positive it's talking about the PC version. I can't imagine it would be talking about this version. By the way, platforms that this was available on: the Amiga, the Apple II, the Atari ST, the Commodore 64 and 128, DOS, FM Towns, the NEC PC 9801, the Sharp X68000, and the NES. I really can't tell you too much about this game other than what I'm reading here, because I've played a couple Ultima games before. I never played this one, and it's not good. The only interesting thing I found about it was the beginning of the game where you get to answer the question to determine your character stats, I'm going to guess. The method made a return in the Ogre Battle games, which I love me some Ogre Battle. I do not love me some Ultima.